What is up, everybody? We are back with the Magic and Andrew MMA betting podcast, episode 42, UFC 278. We have Kamaru Usman taking on Leon Edwards in a rematch for the 170-pound title. Special guest today, we've got Brad. What's going on, my man?
Not too much. Happy to join you guys. Been watching for a while. Magic and I have been shooting DMs back and forth, and finally coerced me into getting on.
Well, we're glad to have you here. And speaking of the devil, as always, Magic, kick us off. Start the show. First fight of the night. Jay Perrin taking on Aori Keelang. Keelang minus 145, Perrin plus 125. What do you got for us?
Yeah, this Chinese guy sucks. I have said it on the pod a couple times before already. I mean, he's not really good. I think this line is. I mean, he's the favorite. I think Perrin is the side. He's the favorite because he killed Cameron Else. I mean, Cameron Else would go down if my father landed the right punch. Yeah, I think Perrin is the side. The line is coming in, makes sense. There are a lot of lines that are still not out for the fight, which is a pain in the ass for doing the podcast. But yeah, maybe when lines come out, I look at something, some Perrin props. Round 3 or decision could be good. Submission, if the line is wide, could be interesting. But yeah, this Chinese guy is not good. Perrin, I mean, he lost to Mario Bautista, but in my opinion, that's a legit fighter, and he put up a good fight on short notice.
Yeah, Brad, you got anything here?
Nothing. I think the Perrin subline, it's plus 700 at Mason's book, and that's all right. But Qilang's pretty durable. He's survived against most of the guys that he's fought, and I think he's probably going to win this on volume.
Yeah, I think this fight might be a banger. I think this has like fight of the night potential. Both these guys bring it. I do think both are durable. Both have good cardio. I slightly lean Aori here, but I have seen a lot of love on the parent side. That line's obviously come in, and it didn't happen for no reason. So no strong take on my end, but we'll be rooting for the bets here. Daniel Da Silva taking on Victor Altamirano. I could kick us off for this one. I have nothing here. I think Altamirano is – well, actually, let me back up for a second. I'm going to ask Magic a quiz question here. There's two things that could happen in this fight. What are they?
He's going to win by submission or quit.
Yep, bingo. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what's going to happen. I feel like the win condition for Daniel Da Silva is very front-loaded. He's a fast starter, fights at a frantic pace, but – if you could survive that, you're pretty much good to go, as we've seen in his past fights. I do think Altamirano has a tricky style, but I think he is liable to being submitted early, as you pointed out. So I'm picking Altamirano. I'll maybe look for a live bet entry on this one. Brad, did you have any bets on this fight?
I think Altamirano is going to survive that early onslaught, and then round 2, round 3, we get a quit job out of Lacerdo. This line opened -2 or the under 2.5 at plus 160. People got that, and it's flipped way to the other side, so -180 now. So I don't have a play on it, but that probably hits for the people that got in early.
Yeah, and Magic, to round us off, you already kind of touched on the dynamic of this fight, but what do you have? What do you have betting wise?
I'm a little bit disappointed about the disrespect to my boy Da Silva. I'm kind of a big Da Silva guy. I really enjoyed his tape. I have seen it already twice. It was good fun. I think the guy is better than people give him credit for. I mean, come on. He has a suspect gas tank, and I don't think he quits. But when he gasses, he becomes much worse, like in a minute. But he's very talented, very athletic. He has power, and he can grapple. I'm not sure what happened his last fight. I didn't know it was possible to get knee bar from the guard. That was insane. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, he almost got Jeff Molina, then he died. But okay, Altamirano. I mean, he almost falls to the floor by himself. Da Silva is going to find himself on top here. I think doesn't go the distance. It's a very solid parlay leg. I took it big. And same as the first fight, there are a lot of props that are still not out. I am seeing some Da Silva inside the distance plus 300. That's not bad. He has never gone to a decision. When Da Silva by submission comes out, I'm probably going to have a very close look at my boy Da Silva by submission. I think we are getting his first UFC win here.
I like it. I like it. Bold prediction. Next fight, we have, well, the theme of this card, Brad, big favorites. There's a lot of them. Amir Albazi minus 500 versus Francisco Figueiredo. Do you think that line is justified?
I think, well, maybe not 500. I think the 300, 400 a couple days ago was justified, but I think this is closer to being one of the justified lines on this card. There's some other ones that we'll get into later that are nowhere near what they should be. They're way too high, but I think Albazi's going to get takedowns here. He's going to have control on top. Maybe finds a sub at some point. He's got a pretty decent grappling game, but the shitty Figueiredo is really, really shitty.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Albazi back. It's been a little while. He looked really good in his last fight, I thought. I'm actually decently high on him as a prospect, so it'll be interesting to see if he's made any improvements. I do think he should be good against Figueiredo. Not much of a minute winner, and Albazi just pretty much has him outskilled everywhere technically. So I'm picking Albazi as well. Magic, you have any interest in the big dog here, or you think Albazi is a good safe prediction?
Nah, Figueiredo sucks. I mean, the fake Figueiredo, his brother is fucking great. Yeah, he sucks. After that submission of Daniel Santos, I mean, I thought I was thinking, okay, maybe the bookmakers fucked this one up, but they didn't. I took Albazi inside the distance plus 165. He's going to submit him, honestly. He's going to take him down and maul him. Albazi is pretty good. He has been training at All Stars for a long time now, I think. If he didn't change camps. He's a good fighter. I think he's been a little bit overlooked in that division. I like him. Now, inevitably, he will get one punch knocked out in round 1.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how Albazi looks coming off this layoff, so I'm looking forward to it. Next up,
Figueiredo gonna border? Is he gonna border it? Is he going to borrow his brother's hands? Because he's not knocking Albazi out with his hands.
I mean, he didn't knock out Malcolm Gordon, so that's like, if you don't knock out Malcolm Gordon, you may not belong in the UFC, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was on Malcolm Gordon there. That's one of my favorite bets ever, I think.
Horrible bet, honestly. How the fuck that cashed?
Great one.
He was like plus 300, right?
Yeah.
I hate Malcolm Gordon. Then this motherfucker goes out and the Ukrainian guy breaks a fucking arm or something.
He's on a winning streak, bro. Malcolm Gordon's on a winning streak.
He's like Canada's pound for pound number 3 right now. We're in a rough spot. So
I'm legit worried about the guy because he's going to have to fight someone good.
Mokaev.
I mean, they gave him Mokaev, who is minus 800 right now.
Yeah.
But Mokaev is like a grappler, you know. I mean, at some point he's going to come across someone like Davison. I mean, not Davison, but a puncher. Someone like Pantoja if he keeps winning, and there's going to be a funeral. Yeah, Tyson Nam would be a great one. He may die.
They need to make Steve versus Malcolm Gordon. That's the fight.
Steve was about
get
to
him on the comeback trail. Yeah,
he was about to get Moreno. He was about to be up 30-27 on one card. Like,
yeah,
no joke.
So funny, dude.
He had Moreno right where he wanted. No, I bet Moreno inside the distance, and Steve was looking pretty good. Like, honestly, no joke anymore. Like, he was looking pretty good. Moreno was looking pretty shit. I was like, holy shit, Steve may pull this one off.
He'll be back. He'll be back with a vengeance.
Now he's going to lose 3 in a row, but I will always back him.
Yeah, you gotta. You're in the crew for life now. Ange Lusa versus AJ Fletcher. Magic, I'll stick with you here. Do you think Fletcher's going to land takedowns here, or do you think Lusa's side is the dog?
I passed here. Like, I think Fletcher is going to just do a little bit more to win. He can get a little bit of grappling going. He's notoriously stupid. I think he's like a more stupid Stipe Miocic. He reminds me of Miocic. He has some power, but he fights like a Neanderthal, not very smart. But Lusa is really not a finishing threat. He can grapple a little bit himself. I think he looked like shit against last time out. I'm not very interested in this fight. I think Fletcher is going to win, but kind of a close decision, competitive 29-28 or something like that. Lusa is pretty durable. Yeah, this is the most boring fight on the card, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Not
you
boring,
pretty,
but zero hype for this. Like, who
yeah.
wants to see Ange lose a fight? Nobody.
You kind of nailed my take there. I'm passing on this as well. There's not too much footage of Lucid defending takedowns, so it's kind of hard to get a good read, but I do slightly favor Fletcher. 29-28 decision. I'll echo that sentiment for sure. I mean, this fight is taking place at altitude, I believe, in Utah. The cardio may be in question here for Fletcher, as he has gassed in his past fights. So it'll be interesting to see that. But I do think he'll get out to an early lead here. So I'm just going to sit back and watch this one. Brad, we've got 2 passes. You got any bets for us here?
Not on this one. I'm not going to bet on a loser. So I think I'm with you guys that AJ Fletcher is going to have success early. He's got decent wrestling, decent athleticism, and I think that'll carry him through, because even if he does gas, Loser doesn't do anything. So
He just exists.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no bet, but I'm for sure putting Fletcher in some stupid parlay to get through this. I mean, it's late. It's going to be like 3 a.m. or something. You have to get some action.
I don't know
Decision's only
how.
plus 200. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Like, Fletcher inside the distance and decision are pretty much the same line. I think inside the distance is like plus 240, something like that. Yeah, the fight is pretty accurately lined, in my opinion.
Hate that.
Yeah, it's always a bummer. Speaking of accurately lined fights, Miranda Maverick, big favorite versus Shanna Young. I personally think it's justified. It seems like a layup for Maverick, so I don't have too much to say about it other than I'm picking her to win. She took some steam. She was minus 350 early last week, maybe even into this week. So I think if you got on that, probably not a bad number. I personally have nothing here. So curious, maybe Magic, are there any props you're targeting here? Maybe Miranda inside the distance?
Yeah, assault and battery inside the distance parlay. Not much to say, really. Like, Maverick is built like a small bear, and this girl doesn't belong in the UFC. She's going to maul her, like take her down and do whatever she wants. She can probably just elbow her head into China, but I think she's going to choke her out. But yeah, easy. If Miranda Maverick doesn't finish this fight, it's a bad look for her, in my opinion.
Yeah, Brad, you think Maverick's going to finish this one?
Absolutely. I mean, she finished her when she was younger and worse than she is now, and Young was probably closer to her prime. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I'm kind of hoping for a TKO instead of a sub. Might sprinkle on that plus 550, just because the sub line's real low.
Yeah, knockout is like plus 600, right? I looked at that.
Yeah.
I think ground and pound knockout, or even on the feet, is live. Shouldn't be that much of a discrepancy between the lines. Yeah.
The first
Why
fight
not?
was the second fight in the same night. It was one of those like Invicta tournaments too. So I'm
How
not sure
long
how much
was
you want to read that sub into being tired after a second fight. So maybe TKO.
How long ago was that fight?
3 years.
Okay. There you go. Brad bringing the cold hard facts, guys. Like and subscribe. We've got 110 live viewers right now. Don't see enough likes, so pour them in. Follow Brad on Twitter. Thanks for being here. We'll start with you for the next fight. Sean Woodson, minus 350. Luis Saldana, plus 285.
I don't like Sean Woodson because he's really tall. He looks like he's just gonna like cave in on himself, and he's got a stupid looking face. So all of those things I don't like. So I really wanted to find a way to bet Saldana here. Maybe there's some potential that he lands something early, but this seems like you mentioned the altitude earlier. I think this is a prime candidate for a dude gassing and getting finished late. So Woodson late round props.
Yeah, Magic. Woodson late round props seems right up your alley. You on board with that?
Yeah, Brad, like, nailed it. I have the same. I am fading Boots on round one. If he wins in round one, I'm going to hate him even more. Like, he's so ugly. You know, I'm a big aesthetics guy. This guy is impossible to look at. I have no other reason to hate him. Like, he fights all right. He cannot grapple, but it's just a difficult guy to look at. I don't like him at all. Yeah, what's
Bad
wrong with the guy?
tattoos, too.
How the fuck can you look like that? Like, he's built wrong.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I mean?
very,
Like, he looks like they assembled the guy with the missing pieces of other people and made him.
He's a Play-Doh
Like,
man.
no disrespect,
Mr.
but
Mr.
he looks
Potato
very
Head.
awkward.
Slender Man, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll echo the same sentiment. I think this is a good matchup for Woodson. He should just be teeing off on Saldana. I think he's a better cardio, and I think a late finish is live or a decision. So round 3 decision,
I
probably
mean,
not.
Saldana has no cardio. I don't know. The guy does nothing, and after 5 minutes, he looks like he's having a stroke. Like, Bootson just needs to be in front of him, powering up the volume like he always does. And round 2, round 3, they are solid. I took them pretty big for a round prop.
I thought he lost his last fight.
Saldana, I thought he won, but I didn't bet the fight.
Yeah, neither did
Yeah,
I.
it was a controversial one. But everybody knows Gomba's scorecards are usually trash.
Dude, everyone knows my scorecards are better than yours. Come on, you have
Yeah, but
dude,
I,
come on,
I, I, I
don't even
just I just answered your scorecard with the blind guy driving GIF, and I automatically win the discussion.
There's all right, you got me there. Fair enough. Yanan Wu taking on Lucy Pudilova. I could start this one off. I am targeting a Pudilova bet. It looks like that line's probably going to flip, so I will take the plus money on her. I think she is the better boxer. Good volume. She was let go from the UFC a few years ago and has gone 6-1 ever since. I just think Wu Yanan, she's kind of big, like not, I don't know how to, don't want to say that in like a bad way. Like she's strong, but she's not very like lanky or rangy, and she comes forward, but she doesn't really have a ton of grappling outside. So I think Pudilova is kind of just going to run away with it on volume. So I like Pudilova as a dog. And that just goes to show how light this card is on bets. So I like Pudilova. Brad, you have anything here?
I'm not sure if you guys have seen the newest card order for this one, but I'm fucking disgusted.
Yeah,
They put this on the main card. Is that some kind of sick joke? Like,
Yeah,
what are
she's
we
on the
doing
main
here?
card, and Romanov has been dropped out of the pay-per-view. But I think it's
You-
because the prelims are being showed on ABC or something, right? Has to be that.
So they want to get a real fight on the prelims.
Yeah, I think they like headlining the prelims with a good fight. So people want to buy the pay-per-view.
Exactly. Once you get to this one, you've already bought it, so you're a sucker. So yeah, it's not a good fight. I don't care about the fight. I don't have an opinion on it. It's probably going to be 15 minutes, and I'll go have a dog walk.
Come on, man. All the wrong takes here. Like, this is going to be a banger. Every Pudilova fight is a banger. Like, she cannot punch, but she has that crackhead grind. Like, she goes forward, throws a lot. I have no action on the fight, but I'm going for sure going to, like, same as Fletcher. Same stupid parlay for 50 euros. Fletcher and Pudilova are going to be there for sure. Like, she's my girl. I really like her. She earned another shot in the UFC. Yeah, I think she's going to win. The Chinese girl doesn't really do anything great. She sucks. Pudilova on volume looks solid to me in a war. I don't know. I'm passing, but I think she's going to win.
Fair.
Oh yeah. Hopefully but you'll have something by fight night on this. When she flips the dog.
Yeah, Pudilova round 3 knockout plus 15.
I'm gonna see a tweet on Saturday that says have updated subscribers with a couple more bets, and that's
Yeah, Pudilova round 3 parlay with Fletcher by submission.
Yeah. Speaking of submissions, I will stick with you. Do you think Leonardo Santos is going to have a good shot to submit Jared Gordon, or do you think Gordon will pull away late on cardio?
I don't think he's going to submit him. I think he's going to knock him out silly.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Gordon is not great. Like, if we take away all his drug story use persona and just look at him as a fighter, he's not great. People act like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ, but he really isn't. He can grind on anyone if he survives early, but he is not a good striker, and he really doesn't separate himself with the grappling other than control time. His last fight was a good fight. I didn't think he was going to get submitted. I thought that was just, how do you say this in English? Like, a circumstantial thing. Like, I don't think it's a very repeatable outcome. He's a very legit grappler on the ground. I think he's a Danaher black belt. Maybe not a black belt, but he trains under John Danaher. He's legit on the ground. But he has a bad chin and he's extremely hittable. And Leonardo has like 5 minutes of kung fu. And during those 5 minutes, he's fucking solid and he's huge, much bigger than Gordon, much taller, much longer, and has a gigantic right hand. And he's not an easy guy to take down, at least when fresh. So yeah, Leonardo early or Gordon late. Doesn't go look solid to me, but I think you have to take a shot at Leonardo round 1 plus 1100. Leonardo inside the distance plus 500. Those are solid. Like if he gasses and dies, so be it.
Brad, you look like you're liking the Santos side too. Am I right in reading your facial reaction there?
Absolutely. Magic's wrong about one thing. Jared Gordon is the second coming of Jesus Christ because he died and came back to life. Aside from that, he's not good. Well, Santos is fresh. He's got advantages everywhere here. Good takedown defense, bigger, way better striker, more power. Gordon, even if he can get it to the ground, he's probably going to be, not safe there. I don't think he's going to get submitted, but Santos will be able to work his way back up. And yeah, it just takes one on Gordon's chin. I think he looked a little bit better since he went down to Florida and started training there. Seems like he's a bit faster than his glacially slow pace that he had before. But I don't think it's going to be enough early in this one. So Santos round 1, I saw plus 1100. That's right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool with me because I think the best way to play this fight is fight does not go the distance. I was surprised to see plus money on it. Obviously, still waiting for some books to open up, so we'll see what they open at. But I like fight doesn't go the distance here. I know Gordon typically is not a prolific finisher, but Santos is 42 years old. He's going to be dangerous early, and after that, he's going to gas. He doesn't have a good gas tank. He's going to have his chances early, but after that, I think it's going to be all Gordon. So I think fight doesn't go the distance at plus money is probably the way to go here. You look like you're dying to say something, so.
I'll make a point here. Yeah, Santos is like older than whiskey, but he went a hard 3 with Grant Dawson, grappling hard. And his last fight, he just punched himself out. I think this Leonardo Santos gas tank thing is, I'm not going to say an urban legend, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Like he punched himself out real bad against Guida. And then he got caught. Like he got hit. He got submitted because he got knocked out, essentially.
What about the Roman Bogatov fight?
Do you think that was a bad look, like cardio-wise?
I think he gassed in that fight, right?
Yeah, but he was defending everything, and the other guy was like the classic crotch sniffer from Russia, like Mago Gombas. And he shoot like 50 takedowns. He was doing all right, and he almost killed the guy. I mean, I think Gordon is going to die. Like, honestly. You should bet the doesn't go now because he's going to tell the story about how he came back from the death 20 times this week to the press, and the goes the distance is going to go to minus 300. To plus 300, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Speaking of fights not going the distance, Tyson Pedro minus 800 versus Harry Hunsucker. I assume we'll all be in agreement here, but I will start us off. I think Pedro is going to finish him in the first round. Harry Hunsucker has had 2 UFC fights. He has lost both of them in the first round. He also lost on the Contender Series in the first round. I mean, is this fight really playable? Maybe you take a shot on Pedro wins by submission plus 350. It's a little wide from the KO. I lean the KO a little bit, but Pedro does have some subs on his record. Maybe I'm crazy, but the under 1.5 minus 350 might even be a little bit of value too. Hunsucker's never even been out of the first round, so I don't know. I'm digging deep here to try to find something, but I think the performance of the night bonus should go to Tyson Pedro's manager who got him this fight. I mean, this is 2 layups in a row for him, so Tyson Pedro should get this one done. Brad, any disagreements, or is Pedro rolling through the first round in this one?
Pedro is rolling. I put $50 on the round 1 sub prop earlier in the week. It was plus 850. I couldn't see any other way to play this.
Big bet alert. that probably moved the line.
Yep.
Yeah, this is unplayable. Like my only crazy idea to play this is the same. Like you take the shot at round 1 submission, but Hunsucker has been knocked out 5 times. Like I don't know what's the deal with Tyson Pedro. He went on a gigantic layoff and his knee exploded. He's not horrible, but it's not like he's going to become UFC champion or anything. Is he dating Dana White's niece or something? Like, what is going on here? He's getting 2 free wins in a row. I don't know. Do they want to build him up for a Australia pay-per-view or something? I don't know what's the deal. Like, seriously. At some point he's going to have to fight a real fighter. No disrespect to Harry Hansacker, but I mean, come on, Pedro is going to murder him in round one. I'll be rooting for Hansacker unless I take San Pedro round one soup or something. But
Yeah,
that's at Bet Online, and I cannot use it. Maybe I will have my people call your people, Gombas.
sounds good. I'll let my secretary know. Guys, for those of you who are first-time watchers, we go in best fight odds order, so I'm not forgetting Romanov. I actually am going to the Romanov fight right now. And guys, Marcin Tybura, in my opinion, may be the dog of the week here. I think that I mean I've been saying for a while, once Romanov runs into someone who could stop his wrestling, I think he might just hit a wall. Maybe that's Tybura, maybe it's not, but I'm willing to find out at plus 300. I love the over 1.5 in this fight as well, minus 160. It's not like Romanov is some prolific finisher on the mat. Tybura in 15 UFC fights has only been finished in under 1-5 one single time, and that was a quick knockout against Sakai. And if you look at Romanov's fight with like Roque Martinez, that fight went over the 1.5 mark, and I see like if Roque Martinez could go over 1.5, I think that Marcin Tybura can too, and I think the later it goes, the better for Tybura. I'm not sold on Romanov's gas tank. So yeah, I like the Tiberius side from a money line perspective, but I really, really like the over 1.5 minus 160. That's taken some steam today, thanks to yours truly. Brad, do you think that Romanov rolls here, or are you taking the dog shot on Tiberius as well?
I'm taking the dog shot on Tybura. Romanov, he's all right, maybe. I mean, he's a good wrestler for heavyweight, but we've seen him against one opponent who's ever heard of grappling in Espino, and that didn't go well for him. Who knows how that third round would have gone? I think both guys were gassed at that point, so it was kind of a coin flip. But Espino betters got robbed in that one, I would say for sure. I've been on a lot of over 1.5s with Romanov as well. I don't think that he's got some crazy finishing power. Even his top control, you saw Marcos Rogerio de Lima got up against him twice, and that dude is very liable to quit early in a fight, and then ended up getting forearm choked unconscious in the first round. That was hilarious. But I think Tybura is going to be able to defend some of the takedowns. I think if he does get taken down, he's going to be able to get back up. Even if he gets held down for a couple minutes, he's good enough on the ground that he's not going to take a lot of damage like most of the guys that Romanov faces. And yeah, maybe the cardio is better now that he's not fat, but I think not being fat at heavyweight probably works to his disadvantage more than his advantage, because I don't know, he's got a decent body kick, some decent leg kicks, but no real meat to his striking game. So if this is on the feet, Tybura's better. If it's on the ground, I think it's kind of a wash. It just depends who's in top position and if Tybura can keep Romanov from staying in top position too long. So I took the shot, plus 350 at bet 365 yesterday.
Sweet. And Magic, you famously like to put an offer out on Twitter that Romanov to win by forearm choke. Are you offering that again this time, or are you going to round out the trifecta and take the dog shot on Marcin Tybura?
I'm betting on Tibura fairly big. Like, I think if he survives 4 or 5 minutes, he becomes the best bet of the week easily. I don't know how you don't take him here. I was interested in this fight in Tibura the first time it was booked. I think he was like plus 230 the first time or something like that. If I remember correctly, I may be wrong. But the line was shorter for sure. Tibura moneyline, Tibura inside the distance plus 750, Tibura round props 2 and 3. I mean, this is going to be a bank robbery. If Romanov doesn't knock him out round one, I don't think he's going to submit Tibura. I mean, maybe he mounts him and pounds him out like Donkey Kong, like he does all the time. But if he doesn't do that, what is he going to do to Marcin Tibura? Tibura is actually taller and bigger than Romanov, I think, and he's the better all-around grappler. I guess that Romanov can get takedowns, but Tibura is the better grappler all around. He's legit on the ground. So yeah, why not? Bet Tibura. He's going to ship it, I think. I think he's going to look inside favorite. Hot take.
You got to call him. You got to say it. Leader of the.
I mean, he's the leader of the free world this week, but I got a couple more leaders.
on this card. Wow, that is bold. Well, I'm excited to hear about them. I'll stick with you then for Merab Valishvili taking on Jose Aldo. This has been one of probably the most debated fights that I've seen on the internet. So I'm curious to hear your take on it. Do you think Merab's going to grind him out, or do you think Aldo is going to show to be a great defensive wrestler and win this one on the feet?
Yeah, there is a fight every fucking week that people are willing to die fighting over in the internet on Twitter. I don't get it. And imagine if this fight happens also to be a Jose Aldo fight, who is like the most discussed legacy fighter on the internet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have nothing on the fight right now. I can see the argument for both sides. A lot of different narratives going on. Yeah, Aldo is a great defensive grappler, defensive wrestler. But if you can stay on him, he gasses. Merab is going to be on his ass, on his face. Aldo could hurt him. I could see Merab hurting him with something wild too. Merab late could be value. Would I be shocked if Aldo knocked him out? Not really. Would I be shocked if he won 2 rounds? Not really. I don't know. This is a fucking mess. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fight. Right now it's a pass. I'm not sure really. Like, I don't have a strong opinion on what's going to happen. I'm going to pick Aldo to win. I think he can do very well here over 3 rounds, but don't be shocked if I end up taking Merab round 3 or something like that. You have to follow the value.
You took a lot of those words right out of my mouth. I have nothing on this fight myself. I think it could go a lot of different ways. I'm just going to sit back and watch. Like you said, it wouldn't surprise me if Merab grinds him out. Wouldn't surprise me if Aldo just kind of starts getting off early, maybe beats the leg up a little bit. Merab's not much of a striker, but he has vicious cardio, vicious pace. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. We all obviously know that Aldo has historically had great takedown defense, but he is later in his career, and we haven't really seen him against a wrestler in a few years now. So,
I mean,
I'm more so right. Like when's the last time he's fought someone?
The Peter Jan fight. I guess that Jan started grappling when he got him already hurt, but that wasn't a great look. But Jan was just abusing him. Jan is fucking mean.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, if you put a gun to my head, I'm picking Merab, but I have zero interest in betting this fight. Brad, do you have any bets on this one, and who are you picking?
Before I get into the breakdown, Aldo is one of my favorite fighters ever. So a little bit biased going into this one. I am picking and betting Aldo. I think he can give Merab a lot of the same problems that Moraes did. His counters, his reaction time is better than Moraes at this point, and he's not going to go full 70 IQ, as Magic would say, and just start chasing Merab around the cage like a fucking moron, trying to knock him out with flying knees and stuff like that. He's actually going to take time. He's going to pick his shots. He's probably going to go to the body if he gets Merab hurt. So I think there's going to be a lot of possibility for Aldo to get him out of there early. Obviously, there's a bit of a concern if this gets dragged out because Merab's just going to get on him and stay on him. Aldo's great at defending sort of multiple layers of takedown defense, but guys who are just willing to stay in the clinch and keep grinding and keep switching things up on him can win minutes just pushing up against the cage. I kind of worry about that because his takedown defense hasn't looked as good at 135. But man, I think overall Aldo's just the way more skilled fighter. And as I said, one of my favorites ever. Gotta pick him. I took him at plus 110.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, as far as fights I'm looking forward to, that's probably, like, all betting purposes aside, that's probably my number one on this card. But a close second is the co-main event. We have Luke Rockhold returning to take on Paulo Costa. I'm going to remind my co-host here of a few stats about Luke Rockhold. He has not won a fight since 2017. Yes, 2017. Yeah. Coming back against a Terminator in Paulo Costa, who Magic thinks won his last fight. I do not personally, but I think Luke is getting sent to the pasture here. I think Paulo Costa is going to finish him. I think he's going to finish him brutally. And yeah, I think we might see a death on Saturday night. I got on Costa early, minus 255. Push that line all the way down to minus 355. there has been some pushback from a man in Spain who is living in a time travel continuum and thinks this is 2014. So I will turn it over to him to give his opposing view.
I mean, I would like to remind Andrew about some stats too. Costa has not won a fight since 2019.
You said he did, though. You said he beat Vittori.
Officially, he hasn't.
That's a good
Okay,
win,
Andrew.
right? Like, that's a top
Andrew, you had your time to talk. Now it's my time. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought he beat Vettori, but not the greatest look. He was getting grappled by a not very good grappler. He's probably facing the best grappler in the history of the division, easily. I mean, Costa. Don't get me wrong. I like Paulo Costa, best Twitter account of a fighter ever. Since Strickland is gone, he's the absolute king of MMA Twitter. But he beat an entire basketball team until 2018. Then he beat Johnny Hendricks at middleweight, great win. Then he beat Uriah Hall. He only fought once that year. He beat Johnny Hendricks. Then he fought once the following year. He beat Uriah Hall, who is now retired and a notorious quitter. Uriah Hall was landing on Costa at will round 1. And then he beat Joel Romero, a decision most people thought he lost. Joel Romero, notoriously known for his bad cardio. He was walking.
Let me just.
Romero was walking him like a fucking dog in round 3. Okay, Romero gasses against everyone. Costa was like looking for the door. He was like, "Oh, Walid Ismail, save me, please." He was about to die. 2 more rounds and that guy is dead. Like honestly, dead. Everybody knows Romero is his father. That's the truth.
I would just like to fact check that here. I've pulled up MMA decisions, and more people scored the fight.
You can't trust
Bro,
those
that's
nerds.
crazy. Everybody loves to bring that up, and then I looked at one fight once, and there were like 117 scorecards submitted. Like, who cares? Like when some bum like this.
You just said that most people thought Costa won.
Yeah, most intelligent people.
Which isn't true.
Most intelligent people thought Joel Romero won that fight. I mean, come on. He was pacing Costa. Horrible look. And then he fought Adesanya, who was the steal of the century, made me a lot of money. Yeah. He was minus 200. Adesanya props. Amazing. He got beat. I mean, he took his manhood. That was hard. For a Bolsonaro supporter to lose like that was hard. Yeah, I mean, long layoff, hasn't fought in forever, missed weight badly. It's very clear he has serious issues grappling defensively and on bottom. And Luke Rockhold, I know he's 37. He's a little bit of an autist or something. He's like borderline retarded. No disrespect, the guy is stupid as fuck. You cannot have everything in life, okay? My mom always says this. The guy is tall, great genetics, whatever, great fighter, but he's dumb as a fucking rock. He may die here, but I don't think this is a walk in the park for Costa, even in the kickboxing range. Rockhold is great. I mean, Rockhold is fucking great. This is going to be a controversial take. I'm not talking about legacy or all time or whatever, but the best middleweight I have ever seen inside the cage is Luke Rockhold in his prime. You were going to say that?
I was going to say same thing.
Like no doubt. People are going to say, oh, Anderson Silva. Go fuck yourself. Prime Luke Rockhold was insane. And if he gets on top of Costa here just once, Costa is going to die. Among terrible sufferings. Okay, Andrew. So yeah.
Let me just. Andrew is not lying. Go on MMA decision. Round 1 Costa 86%. Round 2 Costa 59%. Round 4 Romero 94%. So just to clear that up, Andrew does not lie and has never told a lie and will never tell a lie. So might want to make sure you have your facts straight before commenting something like that.
There's a difference between a lie and twisting the truth to serve your needs, right?
Yeah, I mean, the claim was that most people thought that Costa lost, which is not true. So, Brad, break the tie here, man. We can't do this all day long.
I mean,
what do you got?
I am not finished, Andrew.
You're finished. What do you got, Brad?
Rockhold moneyline, round props, inside the distance. He's going to get on top and mold this guy.
I wish I had the huevos to go with you on this one, Magic, but as much as what you said is true, and Rockhold, I truly believe, was if not the greatest, definitely the most talented middleweight that we've ever seen. his confidence is completely shot. Maybe he's been on a good round of steroids in training camp. He looks pretty good. He looks pretty veiny. So he might have a little bit of confidence back. But I think he needs to throw a couple body kicks and then immediately start grappling. Because if
Yeah,
this
body
turns
lock.
into if this turns into a striking match, he is, even though he's probably going to be winning it, he's going to die at some point. It doesn't matter, how many kicks he lands. I think that Costa's super durable when it comes to the weapons that Rockhold has, and he's just going to land something at some point. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's going to put Luke out. But man, I'm not touching Costa north of -300 here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got some good debate going, which is fun. What do you have to say?
I mean, people act like Rockhold has been losing to fucking bumps or something. He lost to Blachowicz at light heavyweight and Joel Romero, which he was winning on points. I mean, Joel Romero's an animal. I will never forgive him for losing to Michael Bisping, though.
That was over
Like,
4
never.
years ago. That Romero fight was over 4 years ago.
Yeah, so what?
It was
His
another
chin's had a good rest.
Yeah.
Think about how different the state of the division looked back then. The state of the UFC. It's a long time. This is not prime Luke Rockhold coming back here.
Joel must have forgot. Like, you don't forget jiu-jitsu, bro. If he gets on top, I will be on your DMs already. The moment he gets on top, watch out because I'll be on your DMs watching your boy die.
If Rockhold gets on top, I'm blocking you before the fight's even over.
The other thing to note in this one is that Rockhold just went off on the UFC in the press conference. So they're probably going to spike his water or some sort of shit so that he's all groggy going into the cage and Costa absolutely murders him because Dana's not going to play that. You can't say anything bad about King Dana or he's coming after you and your family.
I mean, I won't be shocked if Rockhold just gets knocked out silly because he has two issues as a fighter. He's stupid
comes
and
the
he has
backtrack,
horrible striking tendencies, like defensively, but all the lines are straight up disrespectful. Costa money line is a square play. Unless you got it like Andrew, who got like $3 million of CLB, like he always says. He got it early on the week and he has his CLB tweet ready. What's up?
Yeah, well, if you guys thought Magic's co-main event pick was bad, wait till you hear his main event pick. Leon Edwards taking on Kamaru Usman in a rematch. Go ahead, take it away. Tell the people why Leon Edwards is the best bet of the card of the year.
I mean, how can you trash me like that? This man bet Colby Covington against Kamaru Usman and then proceeded to bet Jorge Masvidal against his favorite fighter, Colby Covington. Probably the worst pick of all time. I would say all sports. That's when the Masvigombas thing started, by the way.
Yeah, that sucks. That was almost 6 months ago, and people still say that.
But Magogombas is getting some traction. I think this may be a new era. Yeah,
Maybe.
I think this line should be way closer. Edwards is the real deal. Usman is Usman. I mean, insane hardware. He's not as good as a wrestler as people make him out to be, in my opinion. Offensively, great wrestler all around, but because he's a fucking animal. Like, he's huge for the division. He's technically solid, but people act like he goes out and just takes people down like he's Jordan Burroughs. He's not that guy. If he can clinch you, he will tire you out. He will fuck you up. I think Leon Edwards is the real deal. I think this line should be much, much closer, and I'm betting Leon Edwards money line plus 300 pretty big. I think it's going to be a new.
Wow, picking him straight up. You heard the man, ladies and gentlemen. Picking Leon Edwards to beat Kamaru Usman. Brad, do you give Leon much of a chance here? Or do you think Usman kind of keeps his dominant reign as champion going?
I don't do the percentage thing most of the time, but I give Leon Edwards way better than 25% chance in this fight. This basically comes down to, we know that Edwards is the better striker. You can say whatever you want about Usman finally learning how to jab after fighting for like 7 years or something like that. That's not impressive. And he's doing it against punching bags who don't move their heads, who don't have any defense. It hasn't been impressive to me, his striking. So this comes down to how much better has Leon Edwards wrestling gotten. And we don't really know because we haven't seen it at the highest level. But the part of Edwards' wrestling that looks the best to me is his clinch wrestling and his counter wrestling out of clinches. And I don't think that's going to be enough for him to take Usman down because Usman's a great defensive wrestler. But I think it's going to be enough for him to avoid getting taken down and controlled like in the first fight. I mean, he hadn't even heard of wrestling. He's a British dude. They don't learn about wrestling growing up like you and I. He hadn't heard of wrestling the first time he fought Usman. He knows how to wrestle now. He's going to use it, and he's going to use it well. And every minute that this is on the feet, Leon Edwards is going to be the better fighter. So I think Leon Edwards is going to keep it on the feet enough. It's going to be competitive, but he's going to end up taking a decision here. So I've got some Leon. I've got some Leon decision plus 1,000, and you're in the minority, my friend. I'm sorry.
That's a great breakdown. I have to give you credit. Like the clinch thing is very true. He's better at range. Great breakdown, honestly.
Don't
But
tell
now
anybody on my podcast that I actually know how to break down fights.
I'll probably be there later talking trash to Lance.
Yeah, well, lucky for you guys, you have me to bring a little bit of sanity to your life. Kamaru Usman's probably going to win this fight. I think 75, 80% is fair here. I mean, guys, you're getting one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet here in Usman. He is sick wrestling, sick cardio. His striking's improved tremendously since the first fight. Everyone talks about how good Leon Scott is as a striker, but he only outlanded Nate Diaz by 2 strikes at distance, and RDA outlanded him at distance. And again, that doesn't tell the whole story, but I don't think Leon Edwards is a great minute winner. I think he's likely KO reliant here, maybe a hot take, but I don't see him winning a decision at all. I mean, I'm not out here laying minus 400 on Usman, but I do think he's going to win. I think he's a solid favorite. Really, at this point, it's just a matter of when are his knees when's his age and his wear and tear. He's obviously been wrestling and fighting for a really long time. He's openly talked about his injuries. Could this be the point that finally gets to him? Maybe. And just to clarify one more thing, I bet 1 unit on Colby Covington at like plus 250 in a fight that went to a very, very controversial decision. So just wanted to clarify
super
that.
Controversial.
Very controversial.
Should have taken the points handicap.
Yeah, should have. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Leon's the guy. I think he's good. And like I did mention like his striking stats and all. I bet him against Bilal Muhammad. He was killing Bilal before Bilal started crying, but I just don't think he's the guy to beat Usman. I don't know if anyone is. Maybe Usman sticks around and Chimaev gets him, but I don't think Leon Edwards is the guy. I'm picking Kamaru Usman, and I have no bet at the time. No bet at the time of this filming. I will be rooting for you guys. Actually, no, I don't want a British guy chin up. So
Usman is fucking chinny. Everybody acts like he's this indestructible guy. I don't know why. He's fucking chinny. If Colby Covington is rocking you in 2 separate fights, like
there's no shame in that.
Shit chin. Colby cannot even finish his dinner. He probably cannot even finish those strippers.
What about Leon's chin?
I mean, if Usman is going to justify his line, it's going to be with power. Like, skills-wise, this line makes no sense. People always act like Usman is this otherworldly, skillful fighter. He isn't. He's just a powerhouse behemoth with big power that can wrestle. Like, it's insane how overrated the guy is, in my opinion. If you think this guy is a better fighter than Alexander Volkanovski, I mean, jump off a cliff, please. Yeah, really.
That I think we can all agree on.
I mean, the Shafkat kills Usman tomorrow and brings his head back to his village in 1 round. I'm dead serious. Like Shafkat kills the guy.
You've been saying that for years about every 170 pounder in their mother beating Usman.
Usman won the belt against Tyron Woodley. We all saw how Woodley did after that. Okay, that was great performance. After that, he has fought Colby Covington twice and 2 former lightweights. One of those lightweights was 80-year-old Jorge Masvidal, the pride of Cuba. Give me a break. He hasn't fought anyone.
Jorge Masvidal's my Mexican friend. He's not Cuban. He's Mexican.
Usman is how do you say, ripe for the picking or something like that? What's the expression?
Yes,
ripe for the picking? Oh, my English is getting so good.
You should teach a class there or something.
I think Edwards is going to shock a lot of people. I just hope Usman's power doesn't bail him out again.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Brad.
I was just going to say, I feel like for as high a level fight as this is, these are the two most uninteresting people with the most uninteresting styles that you could possibly imagine. But still a very skillful fight.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, guys, you have any questions? Leave them in the chat right now. We will start to release the Lambo parlays. I don't know if you guys have yours written out already, but I'm going to do mine right now.
Yeah, mine has been ready for days. I mean, the easiest parlay of the card.
Tell us.
I have to find the exact numbers, but it's Taibura inside the distance, Rockhold inside the distance, Leon Edwards to win. 100 to win like 22,000, 24,000, I don't know. It's free money.
You don't even have to put I'll take that bet. I'll give you better odds than that.
What?
I'll give you. You don't even have to enter that. I'll give it to you.
Are you going to pay me 24,000?
Yes.
I already played it, but I'll play it for another 100 with you.
Okay.
This is on video, Andrew. You are going to have to pay me. You understand this?
It's a legal
I'm just gonna
contract.
block you if it wins, bro.
Yeah, it's Taibura inside the distance, Rockhold inside the distance, and Leon Edwards to win. 100 to win 22,000 or 24,000. It was something like that. Yeah, it should be minus 200.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take that just because I want to root.
Oh,
I want to root for you. I don't want to root against you. You're my friend. Come on.
okay, that's a cowardly way out, but I'll give it to you.
Come on. What kind of friend would I be rooting against your parlays?
Could you imagine you take it and then two of the legs hit and you have to watch Usman versus Edwards with 24,000 on the line to pay me to win 100?
Yeah, that would not be fun. But wait, so say it one more time for the people.
Marching the leader of the free world, Tibura, inside the distance, Luke Rockhold inside the distance, and Leon Edwards to win, also known as Leon Scott. 100 to win 22 or 24,000. 100 to win a lot. You have to play it.
Brad, what is your Lambo parlay? I know you're doing some prep right before we got started.
Yep, I got a big one. You don't need to put 100 on it to make your money back here.
It's even easier.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Take it to the bank. You got Sean Woodson round 3. You got Leo Santos round 1. I went a bit different from Magic here. I went Taibura by decision, Aldo, and Leon Edwards. $25 to win 184,800.
Yeah, that's solid. Probably hitting too somehow. Because Tibura cannot win round 3 inside the distance and by decision at the same time, but that's solid. I
hope Romanov takes another nut shot and we get a technical decision early in the third, so I don't have to sweat out the third round.
Yeah, he quit like a bitch.
Where do you guys see these props already? I'm like looking everywhere.
We are entirely making everything up. Could you imagine?
I can't even make one of these. I can't find any books.
I took it at Bet365. It has been up for like a week.
I don't know. I'm dropping the ball here. I'll tell you what I would do, and then I'll just put it in when my book's off the top.
Andrew's going to be like Usman to win, Costa to win, Romanov to win, 100 to win 87.
I gave you a good one today. I'm gonna go with. Hang on, I want to do this right. I want to think about this for a second.
I think I'm going to put another 100 on both Santos guy to win in round 1. That's probably 100 to 1, right? Daniel Santos round 1 and
Oh yeah.
And Leonardo Santos round 1. The double Santos double danger parlay. 100 to win 10K.
On that guy?
Yeah, they are not out yet for Daniel Santos, I think, but I think that's going to be a must.
All right, can you put this in and tell me what the odds are? Don't enter it. Just tell me like what they come up as the book.
Yeah, give me a second because I have to log in. If I don't log in, they don't let me add shit to the slip.
This one's gonna be a banger. I'm excited about it. This might be the one, guys.
I've got it up here as well.
All right, so Altamirano wins in round 3.
We don't have props for that yet.
Yeah, Altamirano and Santos and Perrin fight is the only ones that there are no props yet for.
Okay, so in the future, it'll be Altamirano round 3.
Right?
It'll be Jared Gordon round 3, and it will be over 1-5 or over 1-5 in the Romanov fight. That's got to be like 100 to win $1 million.
No, bro. That's going
Not
to be
even close.
like 100 to win 20,000. Not even that.
Yeah,
You keep doing these things. You cannot put like 2 round 3 props and then a fucking over 1.5 on this, Andrew. Like,
watch me.
because
I
if
mean, the Gordon round 3 and the over 1.5 is 20 to 1. So
Yeah,
you
so
need about 2,000 to 1 on on that Altamirano round 3 to get it.
it'll probably be what, like 15. It'll probably be like 15 to 1 or 12 to 1. It probably won't be that far.
more. Altamirano round 3 is going to be like, I'm probably going to guess it right. Plus 1800. I think
Yeah, I don't think it'll
I'm
go.
about to crack the code because they do this with some fucking algorithm. It's not a person.
Wait, let me find an 18 to 1 just to tell you what that would be.
Everybody
I'm making sure.
keeps asking me about this on Twitter, like Usyk Joshua. Like, when I bet it, I will post it. Yeah,
Did we get
it's
any
flying
questions?
under the radar. It's a huge fight, actually. Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk too.
Okay, I used a plus 2,000 because I couldn't find any 1800s. 100 on that wins 44 grand 100.
Bang, ship it.
Can you imagine you hit the 2 round props and then Romanov wins in round 1? Like you legit cannot do this, Andrew. This is a big no in the world of big parlaying. You are not used to. This is a big no.
I want all
This
the
is-
chaos. I want all the chaos. Dude, this would not. Oh no, sorry. I thought that was like a Lambo. I was like, that's like plus 100 probably.
I'm going to bet Joshua. Everybody's on Usyk. I think Joshua is going to walk forward, make it a war, and knock him out. Maybe he loses horribly. Usyk is fucking great, but Joshua is so much bigger and powerful. And he tried to box Usyk first time. He didn't do horrible. He lost clearly, but he's going to brawl here. He's not that stupid.
What's the line?
Joshua is like plus 162.
What was the line the first time?
He was the favorite.
Did you bet it the first time?
Just with these 2 data, Andrew can form a bet. He already has a play in his head. It's this level of capper.
I'll tweet it out. Don't worry.
Do you see regression here?
Dude, I'm starting to feel bad for Johnny a little bit.
Why? He's great.
He's got a tough job. He's like giving out bets on every single fight, like at close. That can't be easy to do.
I had like great UFC event. Then I go into contenders feeling great. I reverse sweep the card. Fucking Johnny took every fucking bet I did. I think he told me like this tweet got some traction. I think this motherfucker was like, oh great, contender series bet. I don't have to look even at Sherdog. He has no clue what he's talking about. I don't know what's the deal. Like I have no personal issue with the guy. I think he's funny, but what's the deal? Why they are giving him that platform? Like he got shit on Dana White or something?
I don't know. Did you think Leite won?
Yeah.
Same.
But she's Brazilian and not blonde.
Dana couldn't quite put his finger on what he liked about her. He was trying to put his finger in her. That's the problem.
The moment they gave Kowan the decision, I was like, she's getting signed 100%. Yeah. But she was getting married in 2 weeks. I don't think Dana knew that. She's probably getting cut before debut.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Brad, you want to plug anything you got going on?
Follow me, and there's Twitter right there. The MMA Analysis is the podcast that we've done for like over a decade now. We were here long before all of these other folks came around. You guys know how to promote yourselves, though. We're all old and don't know how to use the internet, so we get like 3 people watching an episode. So if some of you guys want to come over and watch that, it would be much appreciated. We're actually recording in a couple hours.
Cool. Yeah. We've got the promotion king and Magic, and we got the guy who just doesn't lose bets, and Andrew. So it's a good combination.
I knew he was going to say that, okay, but I appreciate the guy. He's like my main guy on Twitter. He can say whatever. He's the only guy that has like free to say whatever. I won't
Yeah.
kill him.
Anyone else, you might get a visit to your house late at night.
Everybody keeps saying this in the chat. I mean, Joshua has been saying he's going to brawl with him since the last bell last time. He's not going to box with him. Somebody's getting knocked out.
Is that Saturday?
Yeah, right before the card. It's great timing. I think it's
nice.
in Dubai. So yeah, they are getting a fucking fat bag. Like
Did
a
you
lot
see
of money.
the boost on 365?
For Joshua, yeah,
Usman?
I was looking at that. Knockout is boosted to plus 300, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I did my homework, Brad. I have no action yet, but I'm going to play Joshua.
Well, definitely follow these guys on Twitter. 2 good follows. We'll have sure be live tweeting. We'll all be live tweeting the card on Saturday night once Paulo Costa defeats Luke Rockhold. I will be a happy man, and once Tibera wins a boring decision against Romanov, I'll be a very happy man.
It's true. This is this week, right? MVP versus Mike Perry in Bernacle.
I have no idea,
bro. This is the greatest fight of the weekend. Also, the PFL card is kind of flying under the radar. There are some good fights. I want to have some action on some of them.
I don't know. I thought the card was bad, honestly.
Yeah, but the lines are ridiculous. Like Pacheco inside the distance minus 200 is like a free roll.
Who's she even fighting? I don't even know. Oh, Elena.
She's fighting Putin's grandma. Like a horrible girl. And Pacheco looks more like a man every time she goes out. Like, it's fucking insane. Is she actually transitioning or something? No disrespect. Like, that's a man at this point. It's wild. He punches harder than some men. It's fucking wild.
Has Kayla already beat up this lunch lady that she's fighting? Is this one of the ones she's fought already?
Kayla inside the distance is minus 775.
Jinrova's not that bad though, right? I feel like she's won a few.
Jindrova is actually all right, but I mean, what is she going to do to stop getting taken down?
Nothing. Which is
fuck. Maybe I have to bet Jindrova.
I can't wait until the PFL actually tries to do a pay-per-view. I'm not going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy it, but I can't wait to see that they get like 50 buys and then they still have to pay Kayla $1 million and Cyborg $1 million, and then they just go bankrupt. Be awesome.
Kayla is not that great. I think Cyborg beats her.
Probably. I mean, she's the only person that can sort of physically match what she can do, and that's really all Kayla's good at. Being a fucking monster.
Kayla versus Juliana Peña would be funny.
Anybody versus Juliana Peña is funny. Juliana Peña fights are just hilarious.
Bro, she got that fucking armbar. I was counting my money.
I thought that was in. I was like, come on.
What do you mean you thought that was in?
I mean, like I thought she was gonna like that.
Yeah, to tap. Like if
Yeah.
I think if she gets the same armbar just a little bit farther from the cage, she gets it. You know what I mean? Like she couldn't extend it. That was I was like torquing it from home. I was like, fucking break it. Yeah, didn't happen. I was so sad at that moment.
Now we could say we had value because she almost finished her.
Yeah, definitely the side.
Value.
Easy. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are back every week on Wednesday or Thursday. Enjoy the fight Saturday night. Follow these guys on Twitter. Brad, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.